Mr. Garard here, welcome back to my garage. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a tour of my first gen 1995 Mazda MX-5 Miata Roadster. Whew, that was a mouthful. Let's get started. Alright, so before I get into the build here, I want to let you know a little bit about myself. I am, of course, Mr. Garard. I am a carpenter by trade. I build stuff for a living. Before I was a carpenter, I was a mechanic. So that's where I learned most of my automotive knowledge. And the rest, pretty much honestly, on YouTube and the internet forums. You can learn a lot there. I've been into cars since I can remember. Literally since I can remember. I've always had a collection of Hot Wheels, building Lego cars, building model cars growing up. And then it just kind of progressed from there, from building little model cars into getting my first project car, which was a 240Z back when I was 16 and knew nothing about cars. That project didn't last very long, needless to say. You know, it just progressed from there, and now I've got this pretty sweet little build progressing behind me. And now, you know, here we are. So with that said, I guess it's time to take you on a little tour around my little Miata. Let's go. Right, so a little background on the car. She's a 95, package C, I believe. It was one of the higher packages. When I purchased it, it had the full leather interior, power mirrors, power windows, cruise control, LSD differential, leather interior, tan top. It had the works. It wasn't an R package, but it was one of the higher packages. I purchased back in 2014, I believe, right after me and my now wife had just gotten into a car accident. We used that insurance money to purchase this bad boy for 2,700 bucks, and it had roughly 170 something thousand miles on it. Had it for a couple of years, modifying little stuff here and there. It was my daily driver at the time. And then about 2 years in, I was doing some maintenance on the fuel system, and either cylinder number 4 injector stuck open or cracked or something. I ended up hydrolocking cylinder 4, pulled out the engine, and did a full rebuild on it. It's got all new OEM internals in it, all new seals. It's completely fresh. It's basically a brand new engine. Nothing leaks on that sucker. So it's ready for a little bit of boost. Maybe later on in the future, go forged internals, but for now, and my goals, stock internals will be plenty. So yeah, that's just a little bit of background on how I got the car, and let's jump into this little build biology breakdown I got going on. We'll start with the front end, so let's go. So right up front, first thing you're gonna notice is this giant splitter that I built. It really stands out, obviously. You don't see a lot of Miatas with splitters built like this. Hand built by myself. I've got a whole highlighted series on my Instagram. If you go to my stories highlights, I did a full build series on my splitter. Take you literally inside and out about how I built this thing, what materials I used, and this, that, and the other. So if you're interested, if you want to build a splitter like this for yourself, go ahead, jump on my Instagram at Mr. Garard and take a look at my highlights. And feel free to drop me a DM or something if you have any questions. Or I tried to answer all of them in the highlights, but if you have any questions, feel free to DM me about it. So moving on up to these are probably my most recent project I've done on this car. These front dive planes, canards, winglets, whatever you want to call them. Same material the splitter's made out of. Just a little something extra to put on the front end. I felt like the front end was missing a little something, and I think this definitely adds a little bit of spice and maybe a little downforce while we're at it too. Carrying on up here, I've got my turn signal intakes. These actually allow air to come in here and kind of cool stuff down, whatever, what have you. Are they effective? I don't know. Do they look cool? Yeah, I think so. They do need like a little bit of a refresh. The plastic in here is really faded and the paint's starting to fade and chip, but I'll take care of that at another date. Moving on up, I got my Rough Country LED light bars installed for the little lazy eye look. Just something I've always been a fan of with pop-up cars. I just always love the lazy eye look ever since, you know, the S13s, you know, with pop-up headlights. very JDM, I don't know, from way back. So I decided to bring that little flavor to my Miata. I like it, some people hate it, some people love the original pop-ups. This no longer does the little flippy lights, sorry guys. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, these splitter rods are custom too. I had to hand built those myself. Those have their own highlight as well. So if you're interested in learning how to build your own splitter rods, go ahead and check out my IG again. In the highlights, it's all there for you. Moving on to wheels and tires, I have probably one of the best wheels ever made, in my opinion at least. You may not agree, and that's all right. I've got the Workmeister S1 two-piece in a 15 by 9 zero offset up front and a 15 by 10 zero offset out back, running 195, 45, 15 up front, 195, 55, 15 out back. Don't worry, those numbers will change. I'm putting some bigger tires on this thing, hence the over fenders. Don't worry, stay tuned, okay? Moving on from there, front suspension. I've got, never mind my steering rack, that's gonna be replaced with a depowered rack. But I've got Megan Racing, Easy Street coilovers, really good quality for the price. However, they're a little bit soft for my taste, so if you can go with a bit of a stiffer spring rate, or whatever you want, who cares. And then I've got a Racing Beat tubular front sway bar with their end links. Really stiffens up, and you can really feel just how tight the front end is with that sway bar on there. Okay, here we are at the side of my car. I've got these side skirts with my fender vent here. Pretty cool little doodad. Just basically OEM fender cut right here at the body line, pushed in, and then I've got my little side diffuser thing. I don't know what to call it. I've seen them on race cars and I thought they looked pretty sweet, so I built one myself. Same material I built my splitter and canards out of. I use for the side skirts and side skirt extensions. The base side skirt is from R Speed Miata. They by far I've had the best luck with their side skirts. Cause you know, we've all seen it, the little bacon, the side skirt gets all wavy. The R Speed stuff does not do that. It might have something to do with the fact that I've got this extension underneath it, kind of stiffening it up. But even when I didn't have that, I had these skirts for at least a year before I built these. No bacon whatsoever. So if you want yourself a good set of side skirts, R Speed Miata, hit them up. Oh, APR mirrors on the side here. GT 300, I believe, carbon fiber. And then I built my own bracket because the bracket that it comes with doesn't fit our door, so I made my own. I think it came out pretty cool. All right, continuing down the side of the car here, we've got my current project that I'm working on, these plus 40 millimeter over fenders from NUE, N-U-E. I ordered them from Rev9 through Carbon Miata. They came from Japan. It took about 6 months to get here with all the Corona stuff, but I'm glad they're finally here, and I'm glad I'm finally starting to work on them. All right, continuing on, I've got these rear canards, dive planes, whatever you call them. These are fiberglass. Purchased them off a buddy from Instagram. I forget your handle, but shout out to you. They look really cool, and they help tighten up the rest of the aero towards the back of the car. Speaking of the back of the car, let's check it out. All right, here we are at the back of the car, and the first thing you may notice is this big old wing on the back here. It's really not that big. It's about 57 inches across. It's a full carbon piece. I'm not sure where it came from. I bought it off some guy on Facebook Marketplace a long time ago for a really good price. So yeah, sometimes you come across cool deals like that. But the stands and the mounts themselves, they are Big Country Labs. If you're an OG follower, you may have noticed this used to be a lot taller. It used to stick up way up here. I went with a little bit lower mount. I just took the center uprights out to drop it down. I think it looks kind of cool. I probably might end up going with something different in the future, but I like the way it looks for now. Carrying on to this rear finish panel. It's a Garage Very unit, or at least that's what I think it is. I bought it off a buddy. It may be a knockoff, I'm not sure. I didn't ask. I just like the way they look. It took a little bit of work to get them to fit the way that I like, and it's still not perfect, but I like the way they look, and when it's lit up, they look really cool. But unfortunately, the battery's dead right now. It's on the list of to-do. So once I get the battery in and get this thing running again, I'll give you a full rundown of all the lights I got on this car, because I got some underglow and all kinds of cool stuff going on here too, but maybe another video. Let's keep going with this. Exhaust. It's a custom piece me and my buddy made years and years and years ago on my old Miata. It survived that one and now it's on this one. Sounds really cool. It's basically a 4-to-1 header with a straight pipe straight out the back. We did put a cherry bomb resonator in there, but it's practically gone by now. You know how those work. It's basically straight pipe. So sounds really sick. Diffuser, R Theory Motorsports. I believe this is their V3, V2 or V3 diffuser, and I added a little gurney flap on there. I need to adjust the angle on that and paint it black, and then that's all done. So, right, so we've made it into the interior of the Miata, and right away you'll notice there's not much stock about it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I believe it was a package C, which means leather interior, power everything, you know, mirrors, windows, cruise control, the whole works, which has all been done away with, and the brown leather swapped for black cloth. I think it's a much cleaner look. The leather was really tired and the brown carpet was garbage. So yeah, that was one of my favorite things to do on the interior, was to swap out all that ugly brown and go for black. And then what else we got here? We've got a driftwood steering wheel, which will be replaced with my grip royal unit eventually. We've got an energy hub and quick release. Rev limiter gauges, one of my favorite pieces on the interior are these gauges. They are sweet, especially when they're lit up. Unfortunately, dead battery, they don't light up. We'll take care of that eventually. Let's see what else. Custom door panels with a little bit of sticker bomb action going on there. Custom radio and AC control delete. Custom vents, Broadway mirror, Corbo Forza Sport seat, and 5-point harness. And then you'll notice back there as well, I've got a 4-point Hard Dog M2 roll bar. And that pretty much sums up the interior. Oh, how could I forget? Sideways 8.6 did a custom dash for me. He did a custom flock dash and deleted the airbag and put this little logo in there for me as well. All right, now I think it's time that we move to the front and check out the engine bay. Let's do it. Okay, so here we are back up at the front end, and now we are in the engine bay. It has been wire tucked, and anything that doesn't help the engine run has been removed. No power steering, no AC, no cruise control, no emissions controls. If it doesn't make the engine run, it's been removed. So yeah, let's start up front here. Carbon Miata cowl cover, Mishimoto radiator, custom intake, Carbon Miata spark plug cover, Carbon Miata filler cap, 4-to-1 header that's been wrapped with titanium heat wrap. As far as power mods, not a whole lot, just the intake and exhaust, advanced timing, and then there's a ACT 6-puck clutch and lightweight flywheel, which makes it rev pretty happy. I really enjoy this car when it runs. Plans for turbo in the future, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I mean, it's just clean up here, and that's all there is to it. Oh, I've got this stainless steel braided clutch line there. That's a must. I've gone through like 3 of those OEM units. Just get a stainless steel braided unit and be done with it, guys. That's a common failure point in the clutch system. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so you guys are all officially caught up on my build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to make it as short as possible, but as you saw, there's a lot going on here. If you guys like this content, please hit like. If you feel so inclined, subscribe as well. I've got a lot more content coming on this thing, so I guess I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.